And, I was honored when, Curtis reached out and, asked me to come on and share a little bit about the importance of family unity in this new normal that we're facing. And when I think about unity, I think first we need to think about what is unity. When you think about unity, what is that? Like, how do you define that? And when you think about unity, to me, the best analogy or the best way to explain it, you have to think about a team, right? A team works together to accomplish a goal together. And so when I think about unity, I think about folks moving in the same direction, moving in direction harmoniously. But on a team, each individual player has their own role, right? And so the team doesn't get there without the input from each particular person on that particular in their own specific role. And again, when we think about family unity, a lot of times we think about that nuclear family. And because of social distancing and because of, being quarantined in the house for the last however many weeks, depending on where you are in the country, we've really kind of hunkered down in regards to being very tight knit in regards to our nuclear family. But before we get into the nuclear family, I want us to think about family from a village perspective. And to me, there's no better example than the call that I got today from Curtis about what happened yesterday. He called me today and mentioned, what happened and how he's recovering and all of that. And I thought to myself, I'm looking at this screen now, and these are 5 other people that I've never met before. This is an extended family. This is a village, right? This is something that we really need to really double down on and really hunker down on. And it's not just our nuclear family, it's our extended family, it's that village. We all understand the African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child, right? But if we're really honest about it, every successful adult also has a village around them as well. We can't omit that fact. As we grow up, as we become adults, sometimes we feel like we're going to do this thing alone, but that's not how it was designed. And so to me, this is a specific example of that family unit coming together. It's not the nuclear family. It's that extended family. It's that village. But guess what? We're all family. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ, right? Dig that. Okay. So I gave the analogy of team, right? So when I think about family unity or the importance of family unity, I think about a team. Each person on that team has a specific role. But the thing about it, when you think about unity, unity's moving in the same direction together, but that does not mean that everybody is doing the exact same thing. It's a challenge. Sometimes we get that confused. We get being in unison, or we get uniformity confused with unity. Uniformity is not necessarily important. It's unity. We all need to move in the same direction, even though we might be doing different things, because we're all playing a different role within this whole team scenario, within this family unit. And so I had to think about, and I think some of you all are in Chicago, and I know a lot of people are watching The Last Dance, right? With the Chicago, my man. The Last Dance with the Chicago Bulls. And one of the things that I was paying attention to, when Michael Jordan came into the league, he won the Rookie of the Year, the scoring title, the Defensive Player of the Year. He won every individual award possible his first few years in the league, right? As an individual player, he was unmatched, but he had not won a championship. He didn't win a championship until they installed the triangle offense, but really, they didn't win a championship until he started to rely on his other teammates, until he allowed those other guys who could shoot, who could rebound, who could do different things to play their role. Then once he finally let go of that and allowed the teammates to do their part, then that unity started to show. That family unity, that team unity came into play, and they ended up winning championships. But that did not happen until he allowed other people on his team to play their role. And I'm going to be completely transparent here. That's the challenge that I have at times. It's not that I'm looking for accolades or I'm looking for, kudos and pats on the back. But as a man, sometimes I have to fight this whole notion of I have to do everything myself, right? And that actually at times doesn't allow my family unity to get to the destination that we're trying to get to, because I tried to do everything myself. Had a case in point yesterday. I had to do a video for a brand and all of that stuff, and I needed my kids in the video. And so obviously, being quarantined for a while, I got a 6 and a 9-year-old. y'all know where that goes. It gets it gets challenging, to say the least. And but I was getting frustrated. I mean, literally, I was visibly frustrated. I literally started raising my voice, and it was funny. My wife came from the back and said, "Hey, everybody needs a break." And me at first, I'm like, "No, I can handle this. No, I got it. You go back to the back and relax. I got this." I was bucking the system, but the thing is, when the kids did take a break and they came back, it was like night and day. That was an example of our team working and me allowing her to play her role. I didn't want it to happen. I was trying to buck it. I was trying to be MJ them first 3 or 4 years, in the league before we won the championship. But when I finally submitted to the process and understood that we are together, we are a unit, we are a family unit, we have family unity, and we're walking in this direction together, I have to allow my spouse to play her role, just like she allows me to play my role. And when we do that together, that's when we can win the championships. That's when we can get to the promised land as a family. But that's extremely important. And I'll be honest with you, in this new normal, that has been tested because we are spending more time together than we have in the past. I mean, we love our spouses. We love our spouse, singular. We love our spouse. I said spouses, I didn't mean to say that. We love our spouse. We love our kids, but we also need time to ourselves every so often. And when you're on top of each other 24/7, that does get challenging. But when you have that ultimate direction that you're walking towards, you have that ultimate destination that as a team, that family unit, that family unity, as you all are walking in that particular direction, if you play each other's role correctly and you allow that person to play that role, but then you also support it correctly, then you actually get to that destination. And there's another important point that we need to also emphasize. If you're parents, you're modeling to your kids how to deal with challenges. You're modeling to your kids how to work together. You're modeling to your kids how to reach a destination. You're modeling to your kids how to effectively work on a team. So yes, they can play team sports, but what better way for them to understand how to work in a team environment, how to develop family unity, than seeing it and experiencing it in the house? Because then you have the opportunity to dialogue. You have the opportunity to answer questions. You have the opportunity to step in and say, "Hey, I was sorry for raising my voice. Here's why I did it. Let's figure out some ways to move forward." So we have an opportunity to not only succeed, but we have an opportunity to create a model for our kids to follow. And I heard a speaker, his name is P.L.O. Lumumba. I believe he's a speaker somewhere on the continent of Africa. And one of the things that he mentioned was, he said, "True success is when my successor succeeds." True success is when my successor succeeds. And I think about that, and I think about the concept of legacy, right? So when we start creating family unity, and we model that in a way that our kids can replicate, that's the standard that they set in regards to what's going to happen in their life. That's the standard that they set, that they look for when they go and they seek a spouse. That's the standard that they set or they expect when they have conflict, within their household. So I see all of this family unity and the concept of family unity, the concept of team, as being extremely important. It's always been important, but now it's actually been thrust in the forefront because of the corona crisis or the COVID-19 crisis that we're all facing. And so, so I'll, in essence, leave you with this. Family unity is important. We need to continue doing that. We need to build our families, our nuclear families, but we also need to extend it out to our extended families, our villages. It's extremely important because in times of need, you need someone to lean on. But if we really want to be honest, we can take it all the way back to Genesis 2:18, right? Genesis 2:18. Man was not meant to live alone. So when you think about that, the concept of team, the concept of unity, the concept of family was established from the jump. It's just our job to follow that lead and carry it forward. And so whether it's dealing with the COVID-19 crisis of 2020, another challenge that may arise in 2021, or something that pops up in 2040, family unity needs to be on the forefront. Not because we said so, but because God said so. And so I want to thank y'all for the time, and I guess I'll pass.